Every weekend, we rely on NBC meteorologist Ginger Zee to predict the unpredictable weather in Chicago. Ginger's journey onto our TV screens is quite the story to tell.
She's gorgeous, she's smart, and at 27, with an Emmy to her credit, Ginger Zee is proof that with hard work, you can do it all. As a storm chaser back in her college days, Ginger has brought to life her passion for crazy weather.
Good morning. I'm Ginger Zee. I'm a meteorologist here at NBC5. You've caught me in the most glamorous part of my job, where I do my own makeup. Weekends are my thing. So I get up at 2:30 in the morning, I get in here, do my makeup, and that's really the smallest part of my job, although that's what you see. Now we're going to show you exactly how I do this and how I get to the science that gets you a forecast for your weekend. So let's go. Let's go to the Weather Center. Here's our gorgeous weather office. People often come in and they're impressed first because they see a lot of computers. And then they're like, what are these all for? This wall of computers is basically a look at some of our radars. So there are a lot of different ways to look at radar. We've got our own that's based in Naperville. I come in to do the weather after I've gotten ready and done all the pretty parts. I forecast. To really get into the forecast, I start with observations. Most important part of being a meteorologist, you have to know what's going on outside. I look at different surface observations. They're taken usually by machines and then reported every hour. And we can find them on a myriad of different sites. Now you say, all right, so how do we get those things we see on TV? Because that's not what we do. Big surprise to most people is you don't write things down and then read a teleprompter. No, I don't. I actually just ad-lib. So when I'm up there doing the weather, which you'll see in a minute, just forecasting, just talking about my forecast, which I just made. So being a scientist and having an actual meteorology degree and storm chasing and having that experience means so much when you get up in front of a green screen and try to talk about what you're talking about. So I'll go in here, and this is basically a movie maker. So if I wanted to build a baseball forecast, I'll just do Wrigley today. So I'll make the forecast and I'll tell people with these what to expect. That now is a movie, but I've already pre-made these. So what happens is I render it out just like a movie, and I make every graphic that you see on TV, I make. So we have templates, but then we just put in all the information, and if I want to make something from scratch, I do. So let's go ahead over to Studio 5, because right now we're in the NBC Tower.
One would think hectic hours and a demanding job would be enough, but not for Ginger. She teaches aerobics at Flirty Girl Fitness. She's a personal trainer and an adjunct professor of meteorology at her alma mater, Valparaiso. And that's not all.
To give you an example, I emceed 7 different events. I've got a parade later today, and then I'm going to MC another green gala in between my shows tonight. So I don't really sleep too much on the weekends, and yeah, it's a pretty crazy schedule, but I would have it no other way. And if I'm not going to have a life on the weekends anyway, I may as well make one.
So what's her secret to making it work?
My iPhone, I just put everything in there, and if it's not in my iPhone, then I don't believe it. But it didn't exist. I try to prioritize and see what's the most important to me. We're in Studio 5. This is the one on Michigan Avenue at 401 North Michigan, and this is our street side studio. This is our green room. This, though, is our kind of second weather center, and everything that you saw over on the other side is here too. So it looks really impressive, really cool. When I'm over here, typically only use the 4 or 5 that I really need, and then I just monitor the other ones. So I will get in here and I can update throughout the shows then anything that I need. So I get, new temperatures, new radar satellite stuff, put in a new forecast if something changes dramatically, and then we can play with that same radar right here. What's kind of creepy is that if someone's over on the other side messing around with the computers, you can't tell, it's all on the same thing, so it's frightening sometimes. This is my green screen, my beautiful green screen. This one here is a sheet, which a lot of people don't know. It can go up and down, it's beautiful. These monitors is where, this is where I basically look at what I'm looking at when I do the weather. So this one here, and then I used to have one here, but this way, when I turn this way, I'm just looking at nothing. I just kind of guess. About here. No, I just kind of had an idea. When you're looking in the camera, you have a monitor for yourself as well. So it's kind of like a mirror there, and then you actually know what you're talking about because you can see it there. So that's how the green screen works. Another cool thing is, all the computers are the same over here too. So basically, when I log in over here, I put in what elements I want. So this is a big question too. They're like, don't you have, how do you get through your show? I have clickers. It's kind of like a garage door opener. And there are 4 different elements that I can use. This one's for the graphics that I showed you. This one's for the radar. This one's for the Weather Plus sites that we have, like the live information. And this one, I don't ever touch that one. I guess don't touch the yellow button, okay? And then there are different, do you see those things with the wires on top? That's where, when we click, that's where it connects to. And so when I click, it switches whatever I've got playing. So that way I'm controlling that. But there are so many different elements, the director has to choose those. So I have to tell him, like, you know, I want radar first and then I want my graphics. It gets a little confusing, but we've got great directors and they are really nice to listen to me because I change my mind a lot. This is IFB. It's internal feedback. Again, I didn't study television, only meteorology, so don't ask me any of that kind of stuff. So when I turn this on and I plug myself in, I am connected. Now I'm connected basically to the other building where my producer can talk to me and tell me, shut up, you're going way too long. Typically you should just say, you know, you've got 2 minutes or, you know, that sort of thing. We also have a floor director who you'll meet and he helps. But this little deal, it's kind of my small one, but that goes into my ear and then they talk to me.
With every job comes its shares of highs and lows.
I'd say dealing with or responding to viewers who don't like you, because think about it, in your life, are there people who don't like you? Does it feel good? Probably not, unless you love to be hated. I'm hated by a lot of people. I'm a very polar figure, so I'll show you some emails later. I'd say that's the biggest challenge, is to say it's okay, they're not really knowing what they're saying, they're just having a bad day a lot of times. And they'll say, you know, she doesn't know how to talk, she's a horrible meteorologist, why do you guys get somebody that doesn't know what she's doing? And that hurts because I've tried really, really hard in my career. The best part is that I get to do what I love. I still get to forecast, I still get to, and television's fun, I mean, come on. This is my job, you guys have seen so far. It's hard for about an hour, the forecasting. And then this part is like updating, and I do a lot of fun stuff, emceeing, and it's exciting. So I'd say that's the fun. Is this the way the early evening newscast will be? We find Ginger Zee to be hard to follow, inconsistent, confusing, incompetent, and generally annoying. Has anyone at the station ever listened to her? Our family finds her so awful that we're switching to Channel 2 for our local news. Unfortunately for you, a number of our friends and other family members feel the same way we do. Glamorous? Sure. Intelligently competent? Hell no.
But as the saying goes, the show must go on.
30 seconds.
Good morning. Here's what's ahead on NBC5 News today.
If I ever have a chance to go out with my friends, which are very few, then I enjoy doing that. But I really don't go out that much because of my schedule. I'm always on weekends, and so I just really love relaxing. Family is awesome. I love boating. I love being on Lake Michigan. I've always been on lakes, so anything with water. I'd say those things are the beginning of what I love.
After a few weather inserts and updates, and at times a few non-weather related segments, half of Ginger's day is done. From green screen onto your TV screens, it takes more than meets the eye. She, Ginger, sure does make it look easy.